Hello students, my name is Shesi George, your professional accounting teacher. Before you continue with this video, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel, the Georgian Theory Concepts. Thank you. Alright, please let's get started. We are going to use this question to demonstrate the concepts of variance analysis, where I explained the further analysis on usage, mix and yield. For labor, we have mix and yield. Then I told you, how do you ascertain that? You can go further if you discover that the company produces more than one material component. Say material A and B is used to produce a product P. A, B, and C. This is material components, or more. You may have more. Is used to produce product P. Or you have material A only to produce product P1, product P2, and P3 or more. So you can have any of these cases. So if you have any of these cases, you will be asked to further asked to calculate the mix and the yield variances. Okay. Also, for the sales volume variance, where the company sells more than one product, say product 1, product 2. So a further analysis will be required when the company sells more than one product, more than a single product, okay, which is usually common in practice. All right. Now coming back to these simple case studies to demonstrate that practically, the first thing when you have a question, look at the requirements. The requirements will tell you where to go. That is my own opinion, my own advice for the student. The question says calculate all relevant variances for 8 marks. Then B part says what are the possible causes of the variances computed. Please pause the video and read through the question. So with this question, we discover that the company, Kurmere Limited, has 2 material components in their cost card. This is cost card. A cost card is a statement that shows the production cost per unit, a predetermined production cost, which is material, labor, and overheads. So this is marginal costing. The marginal costing statements, okay, cost card. All right. Then you have been given also the actual results. Look at the actual results: material purchases, then material consumed. They are different quantities, so take note. Now, if you are to calculate the relevant variances, you have about 2 or 3 working notes. So to start with, you start with your working notes. With the working notes, working note 1 will be standard quantity on actual output. On actual output, so we have material of A and B. So what is the standard quantities for A? The standard quantity for A, you go to check the standard cost card. Standard, that is your cost per cost unit, okay, which is 20 kilograms to make a cost unit, 20 kilograms. So we have 20 kilograms multiplied by on actual output. So what is the actual output? The actual output of production is 4,800 units. Okay, this is the actual output. All right. So you multiply by 4,800 units. Then for material B, so in this case we are having 2 material components, which is material B is 30 kilograms. So we have on actual output. So we have 30 kilograms multiplied by 48,000 units. Okay, and this from our calculator will give you 96,000 kilograms and 144,000 kilograms. That is the standard quantity to be consumed on actual output. This is the standard. So you can add this together. It can be added. When you add, it's going to give you 240 kilograms. All right. Then secondly, we have working note 2. The working note 2 is on actual quantity used. Material, okay, material A. What is our actual quantity? For A, you check your actual results. This is the actual quantity consumed, which is 99 kilograms. Then for B, material B, the actual quantity is 144 kilograms. Then the total here, 144 kilograms, as you can see. All right. Then the total of these will give you 243,000 kilograms. Okay. Then last working note here is working note 3. Please, all these working notes, they are very, very important. You have to calculate your actual quantity in standard mix, which is AQSM. Actual quantity in standard mix. See, this is actual quantity in the standard proportion. In the standard mix, it's either you use this or you make use of the standard. Okay, in the standard mix, it's either you make use of the standard or the total. Here you can use either of the two, you still get the same answer. Students should take note of that. So actual quantity, which is for material A, actual quantity, that is actual quantity in standard mix. So our actual quantity is 243,000 in standard mix. The standard mix of A is either you use 20 or you make use of 96. You can try the two, you get the same answer, but let me make use of the 96 here all over the total for 240. So if you are using this, you would have, this one is 50 kilograms, okay? The addition of these two. So if you are using the total, we use this total here, all over 240,000. And the answer to this question is 97,200. Okay, class? Class, actual quantity of B in standard mix. The actual quantity, 243, multiplied by, of course, either you use this. So in this case, let me use this. You know, I've used this. You can use either. It will give you the same answer. You can try it. Pause the video and try and see whether you have to get the same answer. So I'm using 30 over 50 equals to, and the answer here will give you 140,400. Okay, 140,400. All right, so students will take note of that. So this is the working note 1. All right, so this figure is 145,800. Sorry, 145,800. Okay, so having done that, the next, we can now calculate our variances now. So number 1 is material price variance. Material price variance, which is MPV. So the formula is MPV will be equals to, open your brackets, standard price. I told you when you are calculating cost variances. Always start with the standard price minus actual price multiplied by actual quantity purchased. Okay, so for material A, what is the standard price of material? Where will you get that? You get that in your standard cost card. So our standard cost card is 100. All right, for this is 100. So we have, open a very big bracket, open a small bracket, we have 100 minus, open a very small bracket, the actual price of material A is 104.50. Okay, and this is the amount. Are you with me? So to get the selling price of material per unit, you divide this figure by this figure. So we have 10290 divided by the quantity purchased, which is 105. All right, then you give your big bracket, multiply by actual quantity purchased. So what's the actual quantity purchased? Is 105 kilograms. Okay, then for B, the same thing will applicable. The standard price is 80. So my standard price is 80 in small brackets minus open brackets. This is the amount purchased, amount of material, or the value of material purchased, 11,988.0, 11,988,000, all over the quantity purchased is 148,000 kilograms. 148,000 kilograms. So we have 148,000. Then multiply by quantity purchased. Don't forget, that's the formula. Then at the end of the day, we need to add the figure. So by the time you calculate, you are going to have a figure here. So you will observe that when you manipulate this, okay, when you manipulate this gives 98. All right, and this gives 81. Now your result here is adverse because it's going to give you negative answer, and your result here is favorable because it's going to give you positive answer. So by the time you minus this from this, what do you have? You have a 210,000 plus minus 148. So you are going to have 62,000 favorable. All right, so if your answer is positive, that is favorable. But if your answer is negative, that is adverse or unfavorable variance. So when the standard is more than the actual, it will give you a favorable. When standard is greater than actual, it goes to favorable. But when standard is less than the actual, it will give you unfavorable or adverse. So students should take note of that. So the material price variance has been calculated. Then the next, number 2, is material usage variance. That is material usage variance. Okay, so the material usage variance is calculated as standard quantity on actual output minus actual quantity consumed multiplied by the standard price. So for A, the standard quantity, our working notes. For A, go to our working notes. The working notes 1, we have the standard quantity of A is 96. So we have a bracket. So that's our working note 1, which is 96,000 minus the actual quantity, which is given consumed. The actual quantity consumed 199,000 multiplied by the standard price. Multiply by the standard price of material, and that our standard price of material A is 100. The standard price of material A is 100. Then for B, also we look at our working note 1 also. For B, we have 144,000. That is standard quantity minus actual quantity consumed. Standard quantity on actual production units. Okay? Then minus actual quantity consumed. Actual quantity consumed has been given to be 144. Is the same times 80 naira. That is the standard. So this one will give you 0. This is 144 minus 144, that's 0. So 96 minus 99, that is 3,000 times this. Let's take our calculator. So 96 minus 99, this is minus 3,000. Minus 3,000 times 100, that is minus 300,000. That's if the answer is negative. You know, the answer is negative here because the standard is more than the actual. I told you when the standard is more than the actual, it is favorable. But when the standard is less than the actual, so the standard here is less than the actual rather, so it's going to be unfavorable. That's adverse or unfavorable, and this will give you 300,000 adverse. So students will take notes of that. Are you with me? All right, class. So then the next one is, now look at this, material mix variance. Material mix variance. So this is material mix variance. All right, the material mix variance, material mix variance is calculated as actual quantity in standard mix minus actual quantity multiplied by the standard price. Multiplied by the standard. So for A, what is our actual? That is working note 3. Working note 3. The actual quantity in standard mix for A is 97,200 and for B is 14,500. 14,500. So for A now is 97,200 minus actual quantity. This is actual quantity 99,000. Then multiply by the standard price 100. Then we have actual quantity in standard mix 145,800. 145,800. All right. So our working notes 3. That is for B. 145,800 minus the actual, and the actual is 144,000 times 80. So when you manipulate this, what do we have? Then you pick your calculator. We have 97,200 minus 99,000. That is hold on, that's 9,700 minus 99,000. That is minus 180 times 100. That is a negative 180,000. That is adverse. Then for this, we have 145. 800 minus 144,000. That's 18 times 80. This is 144. Favorable. 144 favorable. So when you subtract this is 144 minus 180,000. That is 36,000 adverse. 36,000 adverse. Then we need to calculate material yield variance. That's material yield variance. So for the material yield variance is standard quantity minus actual quantity in standard mix times the standard price. So for A, we have the standard quantity, and this is the standard quantity. That is 96. The actual quantity in standard mix. The actual quantity standard mix is this minus 9,700 multiplied by the standard price, which is 100. All right. Then the standard for B, we have the standard quantity is 144,000 minus the actual quantity in standard mix, which is 145,800 multiplied by 80. Okay, so when you multiply this, what do you have? Let's quickly do the manipulation. Let's quickly do the multiplication. Okay, so we have what do we have there? We have 96 minus 9,700 times multiplied by 100. That is 120,000. 120,000 adverse. 120,000 adverse. Then we also have 144,000 minus 148,500. Then multiply by 80. So we have 144. The answer is negative. That's adverse. So when you add these two together, that's minus 120,000. So it will give us 264,000 adverse. Then, like I told you, if you look at the analysis, if you add this together, mix and yield together, it must give you the usage. Okay, so let us see from our question. Let us add. So this is 246,000. All right, this is 246,000. So let us add it with this. So we have minus. This is also adverse. Adverse. It must give us this adverse of 300. So let's see, minus 36,000. Fine. Now, so it means you get it now. So we can equally add these two together to get our material usage variance. So I'm going to stop here and continue in the next video to complete the question. But this video is just to teach you the concept of material yield variance, the concept of material mix variance. Please, if you love this video, please share with your friends. Thank you. Bye for now.